Do you ever notice how you feel when something comes up against your routine or when you had to learn or do something for the first time? I think we would both agree that it can be uncomfortable, inconvenient, or even scary. I might have heard or read somewhere that fear is a product of unfamiliarity, and I can't agree enough on this. When faced with an unfamiliar situation, we delay, fear, or dismiss the result of our actions, which truthfully is beyond our control due to the lack or absence of experiences that serve as our guide. What is in the unknown that truly makes it so scary? I was forced to confront this uncomfortable question when I had to leave the life I had established for 6 years. I had a handful of concerns that not only would affect myself, but also my family in the event that I would move to another foreign country. Of course, it meant quitting the job that puts food on our table on top of a longer distance between us. The decision was probably the most courageous thing I've ever done since I left my own country over 6 years ago, and the change I had to go through was absolutely necessary for my growth, although a part of me wanted to hold on to my independence. Truthfully, the more I held on to the place that didn't foster growth, the more that I craved for what's beyond the unknown. It was only a matter of time until I let go and embraced my new life.
Press down, press play. This is how it starts, isn't that what you always say? Come to my bed so you don't powder your nose. You move like
In March 2022, I finally moved to Denmark to be reunited with my husband. A few years ago, I never would have considered living in this beautiful country, considering the winters, the high cost of living, and language barrier. If you ask me now why we choose to live here, to be honest, it wasn't in our initial plan, but I'm so glad life took us here. Denmark is a Nordic country located in the Scandinavian region in Northern Europe. It has been regarded as the happiest country in the world by the World Happiness Report in the year 2016, and unfailingly takes a spot in the top 5 happiest countries in the recent years. Although it's one of the most taxed nations, social services here had been relatively excellent so far as per my own experience. People are generally friendly and everybody speaks English fluently. Everywhere I look, there is always a thing of beauty that sparks inspiration. Denmark is also famously known for the concept of hygge, their monarchy, the Little Mermaid, design and architecture, as well as bikes. Did you know that there are more bikes than cars here in Copenhagen? Hi, today is sunny day here in Copenhagen and I'm going to Thorvaldsens Museum, if I pronounced that correctly. I'm still learning Danish, so I'm not sure. And today is a Wednesday, and this particular museum, like any other museums here in Copenhagen, is free during a certain day in the week. So I'm taking a break from being a full-time housewife. It's just a short break, but it will do. that you can drink tap water in the Scandinavia? Of course, happiness is subjective, but as a newcomer, I wondered if people were really happy as they say. On my first week in Denmark, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw a row of unattended babies in strollers in front of a coffee shop in our neighborhood. It is mentioned in the Little Book of Luca by Mark Wiking. After school, kids would drive their bikes or commute in trains alone to their homes. It amazes me how trust is strong built into their culture. Time in the museum is done. It's closing at 5 p.m. and they rang the bell 15 minutes before 5. So I am just outside, sitting down, thinking of what to eat or should I get a coffee around the area. And I just want to say that going to a museum as an art enthusiast and an artist is very important, because even though if you are like me who didn't go to art school, I think you can pick up some techniques from the masters, and in this case from Thorvaldsens, one of the greatest artists of Denmark. And I've learned a lot today, which is the most important thing in this museum tour, and I'm really happy to be here. There are countless reasons why it wasn't long before I fell in love with my new home city. Aside from its notable beauty, it resonates so much freedom and energy. Living here for the past 4 months has been nothing but wonderful. I hope we'll make beautiful memories here. My new life is the total opposite of the life I left. I finally have a routine, normal sleeping patterns, one time zone, a loving dog, and plenty of time and freedom in the studio. Normal as it may seem, but it was and still is an ultimate life goal for me. Even though life tends to be predictable now, the simplicity and peace along with it gives me so much comfort and joy knowing that I have my most favorite person to share it with. I'd like to treat my new life like an empty canvas, a story waiting to be told. In the early stages of my process, the image that initially emerges gets worse before it gets better. Whenever I start a new piece, it takes more courage than inspiration to finally begin with a single brushstroke, gradually silencing the voices in my head, telling me that I am not good enough. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Today is a really warm day, and I see a lot of people swimming around the area, kayaking, cruising with their boats, while I am here in my studio. I have set goals for this week, and I wanted to finish this painting by Friday, and that also means that I'll be uploading the vlog on Friday. And anyway, I have committed to this week-long goal, if I could put it like that, and I really want to feel as if I am doing something right at this moment, because I am mostly just procrastinating and I'm just depending on my motivation in order to do or accomplish something, and then perfection gets in the way. And on top of that, I have a lot of things to do in the house, but I've said this before in my previous job, and this time I wouldn't let myself make any more excuses. It's been totally unacceptable. It's been 5 months almost since I came to Copenhagen, and I haven't really done anything special, in my opinion, of course. For me, huge artworks are giving me the, sense of fulfillment that I've accomplished it, although it takes a lot of time and effort to finish it. I love it. I love the process, but it's just that it's taking so much time. So one day I thought, okay, let me make a list. Let me make a to-do list. So far, I've done it last week, and I have ticked a lot of things, surprisingly, and it felt so good. I will probably paint right now, but I wouldn't be recording it yet, because whenever I'm recording and painting at the same time, it takes a lot more time than actually being in the flow, if you know what I'm saying.
In my recent therapy session, my therapist mentioned that adjusting to another country is not to be taken lightly. The so-called adjustment period is not over in months. It could even take years. It struck me how I perceived my adjustment period to be some sort of a deadline. Well, deadlines are healthy, but my therapist was right. For a time, I forgot that I've just moved into a new country, not to a new house. My role as a wife/artist from being a flight attendant are opposite worlds. I don't want to be that person who talks about following your dreams while disregarding the fact that we are all dealing with our own circumstances where matters of privilege comes into question. But isn't it a waste if we didn't even try? Let's face the fact that not everyone is privileged enough to pursue a career they're passionate about and make a living out of it. I totally get it. We are usually scared of the unknown or what comes after quitting a 9-to-5 job that we hate. Many of us have mortgage, debt, loans, and bills to pay, so the decision to quit your job is crucial, as if your life depends on it. Well, in a sense it does, doesn't it? In other situations, people depend on you too, like in the case of firstborn children in the Philippines, where I grew up. Still in the early stages of building an art career, and I have to admit that there are days when the process in the studio can be frustrating. Some artworks just don't end up the way I envisioned them because my expectations are larger than my skill set. My biggest critique is myself, and sometimes I would also question if I have what it takes to grow an artistic career in Europe, a challenge over another challenge I have yet to face. but I have made peace with myself. There will always be someone better, and that's okay. As long as it makes me happy, I will keep creating.
You got me falling in, I owe it all to you.
Early in life, my mom taught me that not all things you want can be handed to you in a snap. And if you badly want something, you have to consistently work hard for it. My mom had to raise me and my two brothers alone. Our financial situation didn't look good back in the day, so she couldn't afford to send me to art school. Speaking from my truth as a self-taught artist, my lack of formal education in the arts was not the only challenge I had to face when I finally decided to pursue my passion. But I didn't let that get in the way of my plans because my heart was aching for my dreams.
To me, chocolate and roses on.
I held on to my dreams for most of my life, and they're a reminder of why I should keep going in times when I am unkind to myself. Of course, the circumstances are not the same for everyone, but if you keep worrying about what could happen when you're old and gray, you will be consumed by what could have been.
Tell me what I should be doing. I know, baby, I love you. What to do? I know. Tell me what I should be doing. I